Friday feels, Friday shake the shit off of the week. Woo. And if the shaking don't work, tapping the chest, opening the crown, opening the throat, opening the heart. Hello, beautiful Instagram family. It is Friday afternoon, and I thought, hell, it's been quite a time, but when I'm inspired and when something comes through and I hear some deep wisdom, I love to share and I love to, pass it on. Tuli, my dear friend, always said to me, when you find something good, pass it on. So here we are. I was driving. Spirit, please may I speak this clearly. I was driving home today from lunch with my dad and listening to a podcast on investments, and ultimately this idea of financial freedom, of financial security, of independence, and what that means, and how it's ultimately so unique to each individual. So my idea of financial independence may look very different to somebody else's. What I feel is enough for me may be very different to somebody else's enough. The point, however, is the value of having that security, which, as we know in our world, is not, it's available to all, but it hasn't been fairly played, because we've been played by a system, and when we're being played, we are not playing smartly. And it is a game, and money is an energy, and it's a current, and we've all started at different starting points. But ultimately, why I'm so excited about a lot of the deeper shadow work is that once we crack those codes of like limiting beliefs, of fear, of scarcity, of poverty in mindset, once we crack those codes, then really this truth of abundance opens up, this truth of nature, which is that I'm just looking outside my window and nature's abundant. The law of nature is abundance. There's always enough to feed the plants feed us, unconditional gifts from nature. The sun's never too bright or too low. There's this beautiful natural law. And unfortunately, we have been detached from nature. We have, for so long have been conditioned in a scarcity mindset, in a fear-based mindset, because then guess what? We are easily manipulated. We can then play into other people's enslavement, slave to the system, slave to our jobs, slave to other people's dreams. And oftentimes even those bosses who making all that money are miserable because we haven't all dealt with the root issue, which is our core false beliefs around finances, around money, around wealth, around, the nature of the current, of this currency. So I get so excited about what I do is because every time it's like another breakthrough, another layer of consciousness that expands and opens, and it only opens and expands when I go through the fucking death of facing my greatest fears, walking away from situations that were keeping me comfortable, keeping me stagnant, where I was relying on somebody else instead of stepping into my next level of abundance, my next level of financial freedom, my next level of up-levelment. And I'm so devoted to women getting into this place because I'm tired of seeing women manipulated. I'm tired of not seeing enough female-owned businesses, female-valued clients, customers, female-valued creations. We are healers, we are artists, we are mothers. We deserve to be so supported by this money system. And if we can crack into what the limiting beliefs are, which are often around our worth, our value, how the world sees us, our appearance, like all these things play into how we receive money. So I was just kind of having this excitement in the car about the potential, the possibility, when we get very clear about what our limiting beliefs are, when we come into containers and I see women just breaking through to the other side, realizing that they've been comparing themselves for so long, that they've been so jealous, that they're always looking for somebody else's failure, like waiting to see, oh, well, you know, she came from that, or, oh, like it's her partner, that's why she's rich, or, oh, you know, like it's because this and that she's pretty, or she doesn't, you know, that we've always got these reasons as to why someone's successful, instead of being like, yo, bitch, that woman's working fucking hard and we should congratulate her, and what an inspiration for where she's come to. Because the first rule is don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. You don't know what someone's labor has looked like behind the scenes. You don't know what someone's been through, the deaths they've had to process to get to where they are. We all have challenges. Yes, they may not be equal in, you know, capacity of pain. It's like this pain Olympics online, like whose pain is deeper, and I don't ever want to compare, and I wrote a whole blog post about this. But ultimately, it's like, instead of that judgment and comparison, we are in a time of transmuting that into support, into like, hey, how do I work with you and get there too? Because as I said in the beginning, the simple fact is that there is abundance, there is enough for all of us, and we deserve it. And greed and abuse and manipulation, that's coming from a scarcity mindset. People don't need so much and hoard so much if they're truly abundant. Abundant people give. The more I have, the more I want to give out, the more I want to share the wealth, the more I want to pay for beautiful things, support other businesses, build schools, make more love in the world. That's true abundance, because it's coming from this like, you know, like, oh my gosh, excitement, pleasure, joy, bliss. You know, if you're hoarding, even if you're super rich, you may still be acting out of scarcity. And we see that. I mean, I know many rich people that are fucking miserable. Why? Because they never faced their demons. They never faced their self-limiting beliefs that were often from childhood. And that's not even our fault, because we didn't have, or we haven't had access to these tools, to these new frontiers of teaching, of, you know, meditation, of subconscious understanding, of hypnosis, of manifestation, like all these new buzzwords. It's all amazing, and it's like, that's out there, and it's so exciting to be offering this and to be speaking to this, because yeah, my dream is just to awaken potential in people, to see a world where we are all living out our unique talent and being valued for it, and feeling value in ourselves first and foremost for what we do. You know, another thing that came to me is like, a lot of the time, what the biggest hindrance is that there's a lack of knowledge, there's a lack of understanding of these things. And when you don't understand something, like when I didn't really want to look at money and numbers because I didn't understand it, I was so afraid of it. So now the more I listen to podcasts on investment, the more I do research, the more action steps I take to teach, to integrate this work into my life, the more I'm like laughing at the silliness of the fear, like the funniness of all the numbers, the play in which this life is actually about. And every day we have a choice, every single day. I mean, you know, this work is not about this one-time thing. It's like every single day I can make a choice to act out of fear or act out of love, to be abundant or to be scarce, to be thinking in poverty and, you know, like not enough, or in prosperity, in the truth of giving. You know, one of the key things